Join Online Chat. I'm your host, Nikoita Nawankas, and with us as our first guest is a very interesting gentleman. Most know him, some don't, but hey, that's why we're here. So allow him to introduce himself. Mr. Patu.
Thank you. I'm Patu, editor for Today. Today is basically an online journal that covers diverse areas: politics, economics, social, and even environmental. So thanks for being your first guest.
Thank you so much for even joining us. Let's dive in. You've seen Narok County governed by councillors. What do you think, or how was it back then?
Well, it's quite interesting because it contrasts on what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's we can say this is a generation, 25 years back down the line.
Yeah.
Most of our councillors by then when I joined after college, I joined Narok County Council.
Yeah.
That's been 25.
Yeah.
Well, in the composition of councillors, I can say they are not really educated, but they are very wise. There was a very accountable system, Narok County Council by then, and afterward, 2 years, I transited to Central Bank of Kenya. So the system I left exactly in Narok County Council were almost similar to the Central Bank of Kenya systems, counting system and also management system. Well, as of now, we have an educated lot in Narok County government. They are very talented youth, very well educated people, even some of them are academicians, technical in terms of expertise. Well, but I can't say where the rain started beating us now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've expounded councillorship and how the new government has youths and dedicated personas.
Yes.
But then, let's talk about the youths. What do you think are the roles of the youths? And do they know that these are their roles?
Well, the youth, according to me, they are the generation of the future. Yeah, the youth must be a very hopeful generation. And as leaders and managers, we must always try to nurture the youth because definitely our potential as a community, in politics, in environmental conservation, in society, and also even in economics and finance, are the most talented youth that give us expertise. There is no community that will thrive and prosper that ignores its youth.
No, I agree with that. I agree. Do you think they've helped in the development of Narok as a county from where we're sitting at the moment?
Well, I can say the youth are not really nurtured properly for the last 10 years, unfortunately, because our youth here, we have a university around, that's Masemara University.
Yeah.
That is a workshop or a factory of intellectualism. So most of our young people who are basically Narok County youth are always graduating, but the government is not creating opportunities. There is, I feel that the youth are ignored in our present system, and that's why you see people walking in the street. You know, they can even turn the absence of youth in governance will certainly have a very negative effect.
In the, as a county.
Yes.
That's interesting because I mean, there are talents, but it's almost as if the opportunities are not there. Okay. I mean, we're almost going into elections in the next 3 months. What hope do you have for the incoming government?
Well, I believe that the incoming government must be transformative. The incoming government must bring restoration from the previous good governance of the councillors I was telling you, good and perfect and wise. They must restore the dignity of Narok. They must restore the Narok as an El Dorado, meaning our former riches, fabulousness, and self-reliance economically must be restored back.
Okay.
So I believe that any governor that comes in must be a transformative one, must be a restructuring one, because systems, I believe that there's something that went wrong in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us, I mean, you've spoken about who you are as our introduction,
Okay.
but tell us something that people don't understand about who Patu is.
Well, maybe I could be a complex person because even my area of studies, I believe that I was young when I graduated my master's. I was almost 23 years.
Okay.
Well, I did a master's in psychology. That is even it is now that is psychology is gaining currency in Kenya.
Yeah.
So even my area of study is not understood, and even I believe that I might be misunderstood by the fact of my profession, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe that also I'm quite scholarly. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. You've spoken about being an editor
Yes.
of Match Today,
Yeah.
and it's interesting how well versed you are in social media. I mean, at your age,
Sure.
not to be offensive,
All right.
but tell us, how has the experience been? Because I mean, technology just came the other day,
Yeah.
but then you'd imagine or assume it's only young people who will be well versed with technology. But here you are. So, what has been your experience so far?
Well, I joined social media for the last 2 years,
Yeah.
but I can't say I can brag. I'm a very vast and well-read person.
Yeah. That's
So when I discovered that social media is the currency that gives us information, then I entered it, and I entered in a bank. But there are also some unpleasant moments that you get people maligning you because you don't agree with their opinion. Some politician hires their blogging goons to spew epithets and trying to frustrate you. But I start with my line because mine is more topical and it's more intellectual based, it's more academic and it's more professional. So when they saw that there was nothing really sinister, we just point social ills and political ills that affect society, then certainly they came to agree. This is the most catchy and most acclaimed, almost social media in this country, I can guess. Because there's nothing personal, it's issue based.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You're almost like the voice of the people.
Well, I can say, yes, media should be always the voice of the people that accounts for the oppressed in society and also disclaim what is not true in leadership.
Okay.
Yes.
We've seen you run in the 2013 politics.
Yes, I did.
In future, do you still have an interest in politics?
Yes, I have.
And what is the future for you?
Of course, the future in politics. Well, I'm not really old enough,
Yeah.
but I believe that ideas are never old. I have that newness of ideas. As long as you read, as long as you update yourself, and you are always current in reading, in even social media, you never go stale. So I believe that I still have a future in politics, not maybe not as an active participant, but as a political consultant. Yeah.
For sure. You'd make a good one.
Great.
As we close, is there anything you'd like to tell the people who'd be doing this?
Well, I must tell the youth that this is their time. The youth is the backbone of society. I must tell leaders that the youth must be developed, must be encouraged to join leadership because they are still they are filled with the energy, the enthusiasm, and the focus. Because I believe that when you are 25 years old, you still have maybe two active generations. So by the time you'll be 60, 70 years, using your energy, your expertise, your talent, your knowledge, because this is a knowledge capital-based economy and leadership, I think that they must encourage the youth to be participants, not bystanders.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being our first guest.
Thank you.
And you've heard from him himself, the editor of Ma Today, Mr. Patu. Thank you so much for viewers for tuning in, where